Rocky Marciano, Tito Santana to beat Don Morocco in Boston Garden. I used to do errands for Bret Hart. Thank God. If Shane, you can hear me, call me up. He knows my number because I'll tell you, I love Shane.
Wrestling Reality on Crib Live Radio.
You know him as the character Crimson. You've seen him all through Canada and the United States. You've even seen him overseas in England. The man behind the paint, his name is Justin Carnes. He joins me now. Justin, how are you?
Good, man. How you doing, Justin?
I'm good. Hey, all right, let's just jump right into this. So, obviously, you've been all over the news this past week, Justin. Sent a cease and desist letter, your legal team did, to TNA regarding gimmick infringement involving the Crazzy Steve character. Now, go ahead and give us your side of things here.
It all came about when Steve changed his character to, the face paint and that, and then on social media, I'm getting tagged in every Decay promo and all this stuff, and I'm like, I'm looking at it, and I'm just kind of shaking my head, and, at first I was like, whatever, it was, it's kind of one of those things where I almost kind of laughed it off. I almost, I felt like sending him a message being like, do you want my promo book too, just to finish it off, but then I started doing the mist, and it was just like, it wasn't, if it was just one thing, I'd say, all right, fine. But it's like, I didn't invent face paint. I didn't invent the red mist. I never claimed to. I didn't invent, evil clicks in wrestling or whatever. But it's like, if you take all those things that he's doing and look at his character and then look at mine, I mean, it's ridiculous. And I talked to a former producer at TNA and another one who's a former producer at TNA and WWE. I'm not going to mention their names. Quite frankly, I didn't get permission from them. But if you know me, you could probably figure it out. And both of them suggested the same thing. Have them write a cease and desist, get their attention, which is what I did. It's one of those cases where I've been told I have heat at TNA from last time with the whole Crimson / Joker Sting thing. And it just kind of seemed like one of the producers was telling me, he's like, it just seems like a big F you, Justin Carnes. And on top of it, it's happened to me twice. Lord knows how many other people it's happened to. Like these guys send in, guys who are busting their ass on the indies, trying to get a look, because there's not that many spots, and it's hard to make a living, and, they're sending stuff in. Well, essentially, they're just sending in ideas. I wonder how many times TNA's done this to other guys, and they haven't had the means that I have, where they can, afford an attorney to send a cease and desist or something like that. It's just kind of one of those things where it's just like, look, I'm on to you. I see what you're doing, and it was just to, kind of get attention to the fact that, I feel like this happens a lot with them. And if it happens to me, it can happen to somebody else.
Sure. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Justin, again, who portrays the character Krimson, spelled with a K, you can actually go on social media to Twitter at Real Like the Mask, and you can see the Crimson. You can see the Crimson character. Justin, the documentary is actually it was a put out several years ago in 2011, but we posted it to the Chair Shot Reality YouTube that people can check out. And real quick, so again, this is not the first time you've had a run-in with TNA. Going back to when, you, as you said, you have took elements from the Joker character, as a lot of people have took elements from other characters. You took elements of the Joker character and you tried to ball it together and create a Crimson image. And at the time, you were, again, in contact with TNA producers and management, and some of the stuff that you were sending them or that you were posting all of a sudden then started getting really used by the Joker character Sting. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, I was on the road with Rhino's one of my best friends. And Kilo sent me, long story short, Kilo sent me an email saying we're interested in your work. At the time, I was about a year into Crimson. And I had sent them both work of DK3 and of Crimson. And Dilo sent me this email, interested in your work, yada, yada. Rhino said, I've got 2 loops of house shows left of them. Come on the road with me. So I did. And in Windsor, Dilo met with me on the first loop and said, listen, it's like I'm bringing you in for a tryout. He's like, I love the gimmick. I'm not sure what the date is or whatever. I was like, okay. I'm like, just so we're sure, do you want CK3 or do you want Crimson? He looked at me and said, I want the Joker. I said, oh, okay. Well, that obviously means Crimson. So then the second loop goes by. He assures me that, look, I didn't forget about you. And, at the time I'm sending in all these promos I'm doing for Sports Time Ohio and these other companies. And I looked at D'Lo, I'm like, am I bothering you? Like, am I killing you with these promos? I'll stop. And he said, bro, he goes, the more promos you send me in, he goes, you probably won't even need a trial. We'll just sign you. And I'm thinking, sweet, I'm thinking, this is great. And then, weeks go by, month goes by, I hear nothing. And then my promoter I worked for in England got a hold of me and said, guess who's debuting tonight? And I'm, like, oh, who? The Crimson. So I learned they gave the name to Tommy Mercer. And Tommy Dreamer, who was with the company at the time, I texted him about it, and he called me, and he said, look, yeah, it sucks, it happens, but, come up with a different name. No one can do the character like you do, so I did. And then that got turned around on TV. I mean, it was basically like, to me, what it seemed like was, cause as this character villain, I cut a promo on Sting, and I cut a promo on Hogan. And when Sting went full Joker, I'll never forget that. I was actually at my shoot job. I'm owner of a bar, and Corey Graves texted me. He's like, bro, turn on TNA right now. You're being raped. And I saw him do it with Hogan in the ring with the whole Joker thing. It looked like he looked at my promo and memorized as much as he could, and then just went out to the ring and did it with Hogan. So that's the heat I have from him this last time, which you covered greatly in that documentary. So,
and I want to make clear too, because I know that you're, if I understand this right, I know that you're really big on this. You're not taking shots or angry at Steve Borton or at Crazy Steve, the man that plays. You know that they're doing whatever they're being told or asked to do. Your problem is more with the management side of things here.
Absolutely, I have no heat with any of the boys. I'm all for the locker room. I'm all for everybody making a payday, and anybody who's had the guts enough to answer a bell, God bless you. It's nothing against Crazy Steve at all. I think he's a very talented performer, especially with he's got a bit of a vision problem, which is incredible that he can do what he does. I'm more upset with the management and the creative, if you can call it that. Of TNA. I have no problems with any of the boys whatsoever. And that's what a lot of the internet fans are on Twitter, taking shots at me. I'm like, look, hey, you're a Crazy Steve fan. That's awesome. I have no problem with Steve. This all stems from we gave him when my lawyer sent in the cease and desist. They had like a 2-week window to get back to me. And if they would have gotten back to my lawyer and said, look, we admit no wrongdoing, however, to appease the situation, we will alter Steve's appearance to make him look less similar than you, it would have ended right there. But I said, fine, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. They never got back to me. They still haven't. My lawyer texted me yesterday with the response to the cease and desist. I'm like, did they talk to you? He said, no. So this is the first I'm seeing it.
Yeah, because I saw on the internet that it was posted that TNA supposedly is basically just brushing this whole thing off, so they never actually got a hold of you or your lawyer.
No, nope, not at all. So I mean, and then they're trying to make it look like I don't know. I read that several promoters found it silly. Well, who are these several promoters? Because any promoter I've talked to is pretty much kind of tongue-in-cheek ribbed me about it, like, oh, yeah, calling me Crazy Steve or whatever, because they see it. So, I mean, what exactly is so silly about my claim? I don't understand, but whatever.
Well, Justin, I definitely encourage you, if you can, I'm sure legally, obviously you can, I definitely encourage you, again, on your Twitter, at @RealLikeTheMask, and I know Krimson has a Facebook page, I definitely encourage you to post some of the promos in question that similarities can be drawn to, so people can make the call for themselves. I guess my final question would be, where do you go from here? What's next?
As far as professionally, legally, which one?
I guess both. I guess. Well, yeah. Is there another legal step? Is there something else to do?
You know what? I can't really say right now. So I've talked to my attorney. We have to kind of figure that out. You know, I don't know. I mean, I talked to, like I said, one of the former TNA producers, and he's encouraging me to go to the next step. That's something I have to figure out. As far as professionally, you know, I got a tour in Newfoundland for Legend City Wrestling coming up. You know, I'm still working. I'm still out there. I'm still trying to get out there. It doesn't affect me at all. And you know, I mean, as far as as far as like the fans who, you know, want to sit there and bash me on the Twitter page, that's fine. I mean, I actually find some of them pretty amusing. But you know, keep in mind, I've never asked for a dime from TNA, and quite frankly, well, I don't think they could afford it anyway. But you know, I don't want a job there. I mean, I've heard enough horror stories from people who've been there. You know, I'm fine doing what I'm doing. I mean, would I like to get up to you know, the next level? Absolutely. I don't particularly find TNA to be that next level. I'll be shocked if they you know, make it to the next year. The way things are going, and I hope they do. That being said, because like I said, it's another place for the guys to work, and they've got a great roster. I just think that you know, their storylines and their management need some work. But I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, and you know, I'm you know, I'm not going to let this faze me or hinder me in any way. I mean, I'm still, you know, I'm still going to work as Crimson, the Dead Wrestling Society. It still has, you know, our Chili Idol tour going on. Watch, it's going to end up on Impact this week. But
well, follow Justin on Twitter at Real.
They'll change it at like something like, instead of Kill Your Idol, it'll be like Slay Your Savior.
Well, if it happens, we heard it here first. Follow Justin on Twitter at Real Like the Mask. You can also go to Facebook and type in Krimson with a K, and you can see the official Krimson page where there's more material there. Justin, thanks for taking the time, man, and whatever happens next, good luck, and keep us updated.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Justin. Really appreciate it, bud. Great job.
No problem. Take care. So there you heard it. Make your own claims. Maybe you agree with them, maybe you disagree with them, but it's certainly interesting. And you know, when he says what he says in terms of the people that he's been in contact with that have been instrumental in TNA, either currently or formerly, and then when they're saying what they're saying, it's got to provide at least a little bit of support of. It's got to be something to the story, but like you said, it's not a shot at any of the performers. It's just, you know, that they're probably never even aware of him when they get told what to do, if in fact what Justin's saying is true. But interesting stuff. So again, if you want to check out more of him, you can go to Krimson with a K on Facebook. You can also go to at Real Like the Mask on Twitter. Juice, you got any final words?
No, not really. I'm excited to see if they can follow up with a third straight good Raw.
That will be interesting, yeah.
And see what happens at Payback. You know,
I've used the word interesting a lot today. I can't. Interesting is really what's just that's the best way to sum this stuff up right now.
Especially, you know, the road to WrestleMania was just interesting.
Yeah, it's just
but was really uncertain. And then WrestleMania happens, and it almost seems like it's just thrown away, like it doesn't even matter.
I need to staple a thesaurus to my head and figure out another way to describe this chaos that's going on. It's organized, enjoyable chaos.
Organized chaos, yeah.
Organized chaos.
That's what wrestling is in general.
Very true. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Juicy Steen. Follow me at Justin LeBar. Download the podcast. Send it to a friend. Chairshot Reality Video Podcast this weekend. 120 sports videos at all times on your phone. You like it. You love it. You're going to get some more of it next week.